So Polkadot is a multi-chain. The idea is that it's a blockchain, but we bundle lots of different blocks up all at the same time that can be executed in parallel, right? So these things can all be executed at the same time.
Welcome back to Investment Tribe, where you've subscribed because you want to learn all about cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and other digital assets. Don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and enable the notifications so you'll be alerted whenever we post a new video. We have covered a lot of different blockchains and networks in this channel, and for this video, our spotlight will be on the Polkadot. Like the others, we will talk about what they are trying differently, what sets them apart from the others, what big problems are they trying to solve, and lastly, we will look at the Polkadot tokenomics. So just sit back, relax, and keep on watching. As we all know, we now have tons of different blockchains running around the cryptosphere. Each one is claiming that they're the next big thing. They always try to solve the big problems of their predecessors. Well, Polkadot is no different. In their case, they're trying to solve the scalability problem that plagued Bitcoin ever since by developing the very first Layer 0 solution. We'll talk about what that means later, but this is just to show you the role of Polkadot in the sphere. So to give you a visual of what Polkadot is trying to solve, let's imagine a real polka dot pattern on a cloth. This is a famous fabric pattern where many circular dots are scattered around a plain background. Well, imagine each of these dots are competing blockchains trying to do their thing independently. That's why it is a little bit unfriendly in the cryptosphere right now, and that's where Polkadot comes in. Imagine again the Polkadot fabric and try to connect each of the dots together. Now you can see what the Polkadot network is trying to solve. They are connecting each of these projects together. Some of you might think that, isn't it better if they just work in isolation and in competition with each other because that's where true greatness will arise? Well, you might be right. But ever since other blockchains arrived, the problem of interoperability remains one of the main topics among developers. They saw the problem like the early age of computers, where they didn't have a process of connecting two together and making them talk to each other. Then the internet came in. Then suddenly, we can make two computers, literally separated by an ocean, interact with each other. And people got excited over this idea. That's why Polkadot is looking at blockchains now the same way the proponents of the internet did back in the day. So the Layer 0 function basically is Polkadot going beyond further than Layer 1 individual blockchains. For example, think of a typical neighborhood and how each of them is connected through roads, electricity, and water. And Polkadot is claiming that they can do the same basic connection between different blockchains, both old and new ones. It's still a little too vague, I know. So we will dive deeper as to how this actually works. In its essence, Polkadot is a proof-of-stake blockchain. Now if you don't know what that means, you can check out the video talking about the difference between proof-of-stake and proof-of-work. We will put the link in the description down below. But basically, proof-of-stake is where transaction verifiers, or what they call miners, stake a portion of their coins, or in Polkadot's case, the DOT coins, and this is the basis for picking a miner of a certain node. Back to the main topic at hand. So how does Polkadot able to connect different blockchains together, and how does it mean to be actually connected? So there are two main components that make up the Polkadot network: the relay chain and the many different parachains. Think of this as a wheel of a bicycle, where there's a central hub and spokes branching out of it. The hub is the relay chain and the basis of the network, and the spokes are the parachains. The main activities happen on the relay chain. Again, Polkadot uses the proof-of-stake method. Potential miners need to stake at least 10,000 DOT coins so that they are invested in validating transactions and not to attack or cheat the system. So now we are ready to talk about how Polkadot is able to connect different blockchains that have their own protocols and use cases. This is possible for the parachains or the spokes of the system. So these parachains each have different functions depending on the unique use cases of the blockchain that they are assigned to, and then they come back to the hub or the relay chain to sync up with each other. Gavin Wood, the founder of Polkadot, gave a great analogy for this. Imagine an office with employees doing their specific tasks, and they come together once in a while through meetings and phone calls to sync up and coordinate or endorse their work. Parachains have a schedule to sync up with the relay chain every so often to make sure everything's secure and on the same page. This is also why Polkadot is so attractive, because when you create a new network, you don't have to worry about all the details like security and funding. because these parachains are easy to set up, making Polkadot very versatile, robust, and anti-fragile. So, what makes Polkadot so versatile and adaptable? Well, the two main tools that make this possible are their treasury and their test network, Kusama. Let's start with the latter. Kusama is like the unsung workhorse that lets developers experiment with the network. It has an attitude of live fast, die young. According to Gavin Wood, it embraces chaos that developers might cause to the network. It's a maverick in a way, because at a time where most new projects focus on being reliable and secure, Kusama is willing to give all of the above to make way for experimentation and adaptation. But this isn't to say that Polkadot is not reliable and secure. Kusama is basically a practice network. Let me be clear, other networks have things like this too, where they let users test the waters, but this was mostly done before launching the actual network. But in the case of Kusama, there are actual stakes involved, albeit lower than usual. But it's enough for users to actually try and experiment with it. It's like the right amount where it's okay to lose what you staked if it failed, but still is a good return if it worked. It's not just a JV version of Polkadot's varsity platform, because it really shows which works and which don't. Not to mention that Kusama was actually a very important piece in Polkadot's development. Moving on, let's now talk about the treasury. For this one, Polkadot's treasury is pretty much the same as the other blockchains like Cardano and Tezos, because this is where the fees for each transaction go, and a portion of this fund helps various activities like community building, outreach programs, marketing, security, and the overall development of the network. Now let's focus on the DOT coin, which is the coin of the Polkadot network. There are three main purposes for the DOT coin. The first is governance over the network. Token holders are given the power to vote on certain changes on the network. In Polkadot's case, they give their token holders complete control over the protocol, including managing exceptional events such as protocol upgrades and fixes. The next purpose is staking. Again, we talked about this. Good actors are rewarded, while bad actors, frauds, and cheaters lose their stake on the network. And its third and last purpose is what they call bonding, where new parachains are added by bonding tokens, and outdated or useless parachains are removed by removing bonded tokens. This is a form of proof of stake that is very unique to Polkadot. So to summarize, Polkadot wants to be known as the network that embraces innovation and experimentation, as well as being adaptive, interoperable, and scalable. This is one of the more unique networks available out there. And if they're successful with their mission of interconnecting all of the other networks, then it will be one of the most important names in the cryptosphere in the near future. So learning about it today is truly worthwhile if you want to get into this field. I hope you learned a lot about the Polkadot network. What do you think? Are you interested in their mission? Let us know in the comments down below. Well, that's all for now. This is Investment Tribe. See you again tomorrow. Keep in mind to like, share, and subscribe.